The fallout from the FTX collapse continues to develop. The real everyday people impacted by the scandal are somehow lost in the headlines. We spoke with an investor and an entrepreneur earlier this morning who lost millions of dollars in the FTX collapse.
This has nothing to do with Binance. This is Sam Bankman-Fried embezzling user funds for his own needs. This is why the exchange failed. I'm very sorry for the people who lost their life savings, but for me, there's a big lesson: not your keys, not your crypto. Maybe there will be some money that will come back, 20, 30%, 40%, but it can take many years. So I would not tell anybody to keep any hopes up.
Okay, so that was Evan Lutra on how bad things have gotten at FTX and for Sam Bankman-Fried. And joining me now on set, managing partner at Habba, Medeo and Associates, legal analyst Alina Habba, back with us this morning. So nice to have you on set. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Rob.
So the big question now is, and no one's answered this well for me, but it's why did the prosecutors in the Southern District move so fast to make sure that SBF didn't testify on Tuesday? Because they could have arrested him at any time over the last 5 weeks. They chose the night before he was supposed to testify before Congress.
Well, imagine if you have to go in front of Congress, in front of the people that you're funding, and answer questions. That's a little uncomfortable. Remember that he is one of the largest funders for the Democratic Party. He has been funneling money to them, and we now know it could be between $500 million to $1 billion, second largest to Soros. So this guy is now supposed to go to Congress and answer questions to the people that, look, Maxine Waters is blowing him a kiss.
Right,
I mean, that's what you're dealing with here. So there's your answer. They arrest him. You get arrested. You don't have to go in front of Congress. We don't have the scene, such as a January 6th scene that they put on, because it's one of his guys.
And you're an attorney, so wouldn't it help their case to let this guy testify? Get him on the record?
No, of course, it would help the legal case, but there's more to this than just the law. As we've seen with a lot of bigwig, big money funders, they protect their own. So if it was, of course, a Republican side person, there would have been testimony, as we've seen over the past few months in front of Congress. It would have been very public, and ABC would have had a contract. But, you know, they wouldn't do that with him.
And that might explain the campaign finance law violations as part of what he's facing. He's facing multiple charges. He could do 115 years in jail. What do you ultimately think happens here?
You know, I would like to say that I think that he'll go away for a long time, but they have to prove intent. And right now, that's definitely going to be their defense. It's a lot like what we saw with Elizabeth Holmes.
Right.
They're going to have to prove intent, that he really intentionally tried to defraud. That's a difficult ask. Elizabeth Holmes got 11 years. Meanwhile, you have somebody like Bernie Madoff, who was much bigger, much more public in what he did. There was no dark web. He got 150, 115 plus, right?
Yeah.
So it could be anywhere between there. I think this one, though, they're going to have to charge him. They're going to have to prove intent, though, to do it.
Speculating, but do you think there are co-conspirators here?
Absolutely. There's never one guy, although he does use QuickBooks, which is really amazing to me. So maybe there's just one person in a small room.
And his girlfriend was apparently in New York City. She was in Manhattan earlier this week. That's where, you know, the U.S. attorney from the Southern District is located as well. Yeah. Do you think she's trying to work out a deal right now, some immunity maybe?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, that's the first thing they'll do. And they probably already set it up, quite honestly, before they arrested him. Everything is very coordinated. Okay.
So he's accused of, they call it dirty money. And I'll just mention with the Bernie Madoff, people know stocks. Crypto, Bitcoin, this stuff's exotic to investors, I think. But basically, this guy was using money that investors were giving him to buy whatever he wanted or do whatever he wanted. But he was also donating a lot of money to Democrats. You mentioned this. Joe Biden's second biggest political donor beside George Soros was Sam Bankman-Fried. What does that mean for how we look at the way people donate to politicians?
I think that it's a problem, because now we have to expand how we're looking at these violations. It used to be very simple. You could trace the money. Now what we're understanding is that this guy had actually traced it. He had put it through the dark web. He had put it through secret PACs through the dark web. And he was funding anywhere between $500 million to $1 billion through these PACs to help the Democratic Party. He committed $1 billion to the Biden administration, and he was already poised to help the 2024 election. It's frightening, and I think a lot of what's happening with Twitter and all of this is kind of trying to get the politicization out from these funders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the Senate, they had hearings yesterday. Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, he's on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Right? It's a good show. I like Shark Tank. I actually I like Mr. Wonderful. He was paid, we know this from the bankruptcy filing, at least $15 million. So these are basically, these are paid people to endorse FTX.
Right.
What sort of culpability legally, civilly maybe, are they going to face? Tom Brady, Steph Curry, a lot of big names on that list.
Right. Now, civilly is more important. So we have criminal, you have to show intent. Civil is easier in some regard. Civil, you don't have to show intent. You just have to show that they knew what they were doing, but not that they were meant to do it in a harmful way. He knew he was paying people to be spokespeople effectively, right? So in the civil realm, they're going to have a lot of trouble. These people, these investors, like the gentleman that you showed before, they're upset, and they have a right to be. There will be a tremendous amount of lawsuits coming their way.
Yeah, we're only at the start. Alina Habba, great to see you again. Thanks so much for being with us, as always. Thank you.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.